Hello? Hello? Maybe this is working. My audio input capture device is making all the right sounds. It looks like we're working. Oh, fantastic. Man. Always nice when it works on the quote-unquote first time. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. Nice. And usually I have to mess with recording devices. Yeah. I've got a logo here. Yes, yes, I'm sure that the keyboard is the keyboard very loud, he types. That'll also tell you about what the delay is on this. My keyboard is an incredibly clackety mechanical keyboard because it makes, when I'm writing, and I'm writing a lot, it is excellent, excellent feedback. As promised, I'm live 10 minutes early. Promised is a strong word, and yet here we are. How's the audio quality? Do I sound like I'm in a bucket or a well or maybe an old-timey radio? All options. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Great. Good morning, everybody. Hello, friends. Wow. Good, good, good. Everything seems to be working properly here. And there is not yet a cat. Usually when I start talking at the computer, a cat comes to investigate who I'm talking to. We'll see what happens. Russ, you finished your call. That's good. Chris, you asked, do I feel Christmassy today? I don't feel particularly Christmassy. Today is today a day I should Christmassy? Stephen Collins, I'll answer that question soon. Yeah. I'm feeling Christopher-y today. Is that like Christmassy? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Well, good. Everything's just working properly, looks like, so. Feel like being born? No. Feel like giving people things? Yes. I always feel like giving people things. I really like giving gifts. I like giving gifts a lot more than I like receiving gifts. Receiving gifts is fine. Giving gifts is awesome. I especially like the process of finding like the right gift for a person, giving it to them. I'm terrible about gifts at the specific like holiday times or birthday times. Like I'll be out in the world, not now, but like, or on the internet or whatever, I'll find a thing. I'm like, oh man, so and so really needs this thing, and I'll get it and I'll give it to them and be like, yes, that's the right thing. The status of the history of Sentinel Comics book. Powerhound, that's a very good question. I feel like we should do that question once the time has gotten on. Status is it's on the way, but like let's chat about it more in depth in 15, 20-ish minutes, something like that, so that we have more people. I've only got 39 concurrent viewers according to my metrics over here. I gotta say, the last one of these live streams had a lot of viewers live, so that was nice. But anyway, so yeah, the status is good, but I will tell you more information on that and any others of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books that I have on my list of, oh my gosh, get these done. But don't rush, just get them done when they're ready. Other questions, what I miss here? Let's see. Christmas music in the background. Yeah. All right. How is the trial going? Trial's going very well. We just received some information that anybody that like they still can't say anything definitive, but anybody that was part of the control group is definitely going to be getting the vaccine at the end of the trial. And the question just is how long the trial is going to go now, because originally it was slated to go 25 months, and it only started in August. So if it goes 25 months, we're talking about 2022. But they may be able to conclude the trial earlier if they have enough conclusive data. So there you go. Ghost Wolf, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry you have to split, but it was good to see you here, and yeah, you'll be able to see all this exciting book stuff later. Later. Christina, I am not involved in a lawsuit, nor have I ever been. I've been to court before, but not in a lawsuit. Yeah, that's correct. Surprisingly. I don't know why that's surprising, but I've never been. I've been a part of legal action, but that's different. Anyway, yeah. Matthew Weeks, the Marvel role playing game was a great game, and actually, in many ways, gave a like laid the groundwork for this, just like D&D laid the groundwork for everything else, and powered by the apocalypse, it was laid the groundwork for other things, like so many things, but just as much as that. But anyway, so yeah, this game has gotten the benefit of many experts' great influence. Yes, Russ is correct. I am one of the 30,000 guinea pigs that is filled with either a placebo or an experimental vaccine. So that's fun. I'm a guinea pig. Very large guinea pig. All right. Things are looking good here. Looking at all my numbers. I've dropped 0 frames so far according to this, so that's nice. Colin. I know some people who worked on the Marvel role-playing game who are very aware of that feedback. I am drinking a delicious tea, a delicious spearmint tea. Do you know why spearmint is better than peppermint? I'll let that question steep a bit while I look at other questions. What is your favorite system, if not Sentinels? Man, that's tough. Favorites are weird for me. I'm all over the place. The other system other than Sentinels that I'm messing around with right now is I'm playing a game called Monster of the Week that I'm running a few friends through. I'm GMing a game called Monster of the Week, and it's fun for doing like campy, pulpy Monster Hunter type things. So, man, Cannon Longshot. That's a great answer. Yeah, Jonas is getting. Yeah, you've got it. Spearmint is better than peppermint because it's got spears in it. I love peppers. Don't get me wrong, but spears are great. Range, Cannon Longshot. That's a perfect answer. Power Hound. If I drop any frames, they'd just be right here at my feet. If they didn't get stolen by a cat, which sometimes happens. What's this? All right, cool. Yeah, Chris, go get some tea. Yeah, Monster of the Week's a lot of fun. All right. Dave Chalker, how dare you? Don't even bring it up. Don't even bring it up. I realize now for later video purpose, I don't know if later videos are able to. Did anybody here watch the video from last time, not as a live stream but later? I'm curious if the chat is part of that video. I doubt it, but I don't know how YouTube works. I'm an old man. Good morning, Jacqueline. First Super RPG I ever played, Adam Hennebeck asks, first Super RPG that I ever played. Oh yeah, people are saying there's a chat replay function. That's nice. That's cool. Still, the thing that made me think of this is I should probably read out a question as I answer it rather than just reading a question to myself and then answering it. That doesn't make any sense. The first RPG I ever played, I think, was first edition Mutants and Masterminds, but I had played / run superhero RPGs before that, not using a dedicated superhero system, using a couple of different systems, and even some like cobbled together stuff where I'm like, look, here's just how we're gonna do things. And like if you've got a GM that's kind of willing to roll with the punches and make stuff up on the fly, and a group of players that are cool with that. You can do anything you want. But yeah. Powerhound. Not talking about that. Yeah, Colin. That's what I've heard. That is what I've heard. Yeah. Okay. What time? Nope. Still 9:59. I'm not gonna. It's now 10 o'clock according to my clock, but I'm gonna wait until 10:01 to make sure we have the chance. Oh right. I was going to. I have some reminders apparently. I'm gonna tweet about this video happening. Oh right. And I also, besides tweeting, I also need to post another Kickstarter update. Here we go. Let's do this. How fast can I post a Kickstarter update? Post an update. Live stream is live now. Come watch. And I bet you I can do this as a link, but I can also embed it. This is the thrilling radio that you're all here to see. It's not even radio. Man, I am behind. Publish. Yes, publish now. And then grab that. Oh, no, I can just do it this way. Copy that, close that, go to the tweeters. Boom. Yeah. All right. Okay. Whew. What'd I miss? Will Paul and you talk about Star Trek? Every podcast always asks. Yeah, in our publishers' notes, we've been talking about Star Trek. As long as people keep asking us, Paul will talk about Star Trek. Paul will talk about Star Trek infinitely. So if you keep asking him questions about it, he will answer them. How long would it take to catch up on every episode of Letters Page podcast? I don't know. Somebody could probably put together. Oh, Andy Aronson. You should ask Andy. I bet you he would very quickly and easily and delightedly count that up. Is my guess. I could be wrong. Morning, Zach. All right. Excellent. So we are live now. Things are going. We're good to go. Let's talk about books. That's what I got. I got books. I have specifically this book. And before I get too deep into this book, I want to be clear. This book is a trick. It is the fake cover that I showed off in the last one that I was a jerk about. But inside this fake cover, so beginning of last week, man, weeks are very long these days. Beginning of last week, we got for proofing purposes. Maybe it was the end of the week before. Anyway, sometime in the last 10 days, we got proofing purposes. This is the book. They're like, we're sending you the book. Because I don't know if you recall from the last live stream, they're like, we're sending you the book. And we're like, excited. What do we get? Just the cover. Okay, sure, fine. Here we are. Then they were like, okay, we're sending you the book. I'm like, oh, great, the book. Thank you. I'm excited to have the book. And then they sent me this, which is the book. It's definitely the whole book. That's it. That's the whole thing. But it's the way that they print it, because the books are printed in little individual packets, and then those packets are sewn together and bound into the covers. So this is, in fact, the book, but like not really. But oh man, it smells good. It smells like new printing. I love it. But so yes, I have this book to show off that gives you roughly the idea of how big it is. The stuff will stay in the binding better once it's an actual book. Here we go. The book. It's hefty. It's mighty. It's impressive. So that's exciting. But I can have various things that I'm excited about to show off with it, where a thing that we had hoped would work and did work out and is awesome is that the pages show off one of the parts of the book, in that at the very beginning, there's a tiny sliver of yellow. That's chapter 1, the introduction. Then there's a larger chunk of dark blue. It might be hard to see in video. There's a larger chunk of dark blue. There's a little bit sticking up there because I'm not holding this well. It's sliding. And that dark blue is chapter 2, which is how to play the game. Then there's a larger section of light blue. That light blue is how to make heroes, hero creation. Then there's a little chunk of orange. Orange is how to GM the game. Then there's a chunk of red. Red is how to make stuff as a GM, like making minions, lieutenants, villains, etc., challenges. Then there's a chunk of purple, and that purple is 2 adventures, 2 full-length adventures. And then there's a wide swath of green, which is the archives, a bunch of heroes, villains, environments from Sentinel Comics, minions and lieutenants as well. And then there's a very tiny sliver of gray at the end, which is the index, the indices, index and appendix. So this I love this because I can just look at the spine and be like, oh, right, I'm just going to this section. That's great. It also works on the top edge of the spine. You can see the same sections. That's not the spine. This is the inverse spine. Yeah. And then the bottom edge, because there's comic book art and it has like this cool, there's various arts. So awesome. That's the book. Very cool. And I was going to flip through this and show you individual things within these pages, but it's a little unwieldy and things keep falling out. So I'm not going to do that. Because I have the book. I have the book. I'm so excited about this. I got this. They came in. They came in late yesterday, and last night I swung by the warehouse and stole one from the shipment, so they're gonna have to mark that off on the manifest. Oh my gosh, it is so exciting to have this in my hands. Like, Dave Chalker is in the chat, and he can tell you more than just about anybody can how much of a journey this has been. Like, oh boy. So this ends up being about the same thickness, maybe a tiny bit thicker than the unbound version, just because of the binding. But like, it's a beefy book, but not, I wouldn't say too beefy. Man, it's great. There's spot UV on the cover, so the background here, the background arts, like here and here, are matte, but then the logo, I can see if I can get the shine, the reflective shine on that. The logo has got the spot UV shine, and then the characters have spot UV, and I think the Greater Than Games logo does, yeah, but I don't think Core Rulebook does. Maybe. No, it does. It does. It's got it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But yeah, I love the way the characters pop out because of the spot UV. The spine, it also has a spot UV on the key parts. And then there's the back of the book, which honestly looks great. I'm like pleased with how good the back of the book looks. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Live stream's over. Bye. Yeah, so this is it. I'm just going to go page by page, and I'll go slow so you can screen cap everything and get the whole book. Yeah. Fantastic. Bunch of comic book covers, and we have covers in the front and in the back as the end pages, so that's nice. Got an intro, got some credits pages and a table of contents. Chapter 1. I'm not going to do this whole thing, but I kind of want to. But yeah, as I talked about, the edge case indexing looks even better now that you can actually see the little stripe of yellow for chapter 1, the blue for the dark blue for chapter 2, and the light blue for chapter 3, the yellow for how to GM, the red for making stuff, the purple for 2 adventures, and then the green archives, which I think I might have written too many archive things looking at the size of the green, like whoops. But they're useful and they're cool and they're interesting and they're fun. Those covers are updated and correct versions. Yes, Russ, these are. Yeah, Russ did a great job here tagging at Greater Than Games. The chat is just going, and I'm so excited looking at this book that I'm not doing a good job looking at the chat. So if you have a question that you specifically want an answer to, tag at Greater Than Games, and it'll pop up a little bit more notable in my interface here, and then I won't miss it, probably. But yeah, so, right. If there's anything in particular people want to see, let me know and I can turn to it. Look at these arts. Looking great. Looking great. Man, these examples, I'm so thrilled at how the examples turned out. Like, I've seen these things in PDF form, but even still, like, there's useful information on the page about how things work, and then right next to it, comic book panel examples starring real live greater than games people. Uh, it's great. It's great. Fantastic. Was the idea for a load of old issues as an inner cover an idea you came up with before you started writing letters writer's page, or was it a happy coincidence? I think that those two things, the work obviously ended up being related, but I think that those two things were born in two separate but clearly connected bubbles. So, Doom Squidig asks for some archive art. Sure thing, but I'll fill through pages in a way that you can maybe see some of it. Come on, book. I know you're brand new. Oh my gosh, I love how this art looks across the bottom of these pages. These turned out great here on the side. That's the other thing that we have is we have this navigation bar here on the side, so you can quickly go, oh, what section here? Oh, very cool. Very nice. Here we are. Oh, adventure issues. I got to skip through. Don't want to reveal that too early. Too many cool things there. Archives. Here's some heroes. Legacy. Time Slinger. Oh, man. Look at this horse. How do I? Yeah, there you go. Look at this horse. Come on, camera, focus on the horse. Focus on the horse. Some villain art. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, some minions. His name is Firearm because his arms have fire on them. Get it? Firearm. Some environments like glorious Mordengrad. Just gonna stare at this book all the time. Even the index and glossary. Look how classy that looks. Look at that. Page numbers and useful information. Spoiled. That's what's happening. So that's great. Okay, questions that I missed. So when are they going out to pledges, and will this make it to us for Xmas? Great questions. So as I said, giant shipment just received yesterday, and it's the first of either 2 or 3 shipments. We're not going to know until we get all of them, but either 2 or 3 shipments is what this whole thing will take. That said, we should have the last shipment of this is guaranteed, as much as anything is guaranteed in this world, to be to us before the 18th. So the latest that I'll be getting anything is the 18th. Now the shipping turnaround time is very quick on this. So I just got these things yesterday. I'm going to start tomorrow afternoon. I'm slammed all day today, and I've got work stuff. My last meeting, it starts at 3 tomorrow. So as soon as my 3 o'clock meeting's over, I'm going to go to the warehouse and begin the process. Right now, today and tomorrow, the warehouse team is finishing making piles of boxes and bubble wrap and tape and everything that I need, and also they have to put all this into inventory because, like I said, I went to the warehouse and stole this book. That messes up the inventory system, but it's just one, and Jody knows that I took the one, so everything's fine. But they got the whole shipment. Now they have to take the shipment and put it into inventory, so we make sure that we got everything that we actually paid for and are accounted for and all that. That's important. So they'll do that today, as well as set up the area that I'm going to be doing all the ship out, because it's in a different area from everything else. So because social distancing and all that, we got to keep everything separate and open. Fortunately, in the new warehouse, we have so much space to do that exact thing. So I'm going to start Thursday afternoon after my last meeting in on this process, and then work Friday morning. Paul and I are going to live stream a podcast thing for the Letters page, which is a podcast that we do about Sentinel Comics, if you don't know. And after that, Paul and I will go to the warehouse and we'll work all afternoon on that. And then I think, well, we'll see what happens. My estimation is that these boxes will start shipping out next Tuesday, which is the 8th is when these will start going out, because I'll have packed a bunch on Thursday, packed a bunch on Friday. I'll probably work over the weekend, and I'll pack a bunch on Monday, and then Tuesday they'll start going out. And then over the course of next week, they will start shipping out, and like I said, I'll have everything by the end of the week after that at the latest. And so the last day I'll be shipping anything out of the warehouse should be the 21st or the 22nd at the latest, unless there are major delays in shipping on anybody else's end. On my end, the schedule is super, like, I've been this whole year getting ready for, okay, as soon as these books show up, I drop everything and start shipping them. And so that's what the next 2 to 3 weeks looks like for me. So at this point, I'm just entirely dependent on receiving things from other people. Fortunately, and by other people, I mean the printer and the shipper. Fortunately, I am still going to be doing weekly updates here on the Kickstarter. Probably not weekly live streams, though. I might do another live stream at the end of this whole thing. No, I won't. I'll be doing next month, in January, Paul and Adam and Dave Chalker, who's in the chat, and I will be doing a live editor's note thing for the letters page, in which we all together look at the book and go through it. So that'll be the big wrap up of all this. It'll all be, of course, wrapped up well before that, but that is the time that we have all scheduled to like get together on a live stream Zoom call thing and look at the book and talk about the book and just be overjoyed about it. So that is the scheduled plan at this point. So now let me scroll back up through the chat and see what I've missed, because I was not paying attention to the chat while all that was happening. Okay, way to put the horse before the cart. Yeah. Is Firearm teaming up with Mistletoe for some holiday hijinks? That's good. That's good. Is there an estimate for when the physical book will be available for purchase? Yes, so we have to ship everything out to all the Kickstarter backers first, of course, and then it will be going to distributors and retailers. I believe, man, don't quote me on this. I shouldn't even say a thing. I believe the street date of the book is January 20th, is what I believe. But I might be wrong. And I think it at least partially depends on how fast the ship out of all this stuff goes. But the main thing is we want to make sure that all of the Kickstarter backers have everything before we're going into distribution at all. So that's the thing. The final PDF soon for pre-orders. Yes, Indigo Dragon, we will be getting the final PDF soon. My goal was to have that done by the end of this week and get it out. But I'm just going to be honest, I am prioritizing getting the physical book shipped out, because once I am entirely exhausted from packing up a zillion books and shipping them out, I can sit down at a computer and make sure the final edits are in on that. So before the end of this month for the final PDF, but at this point it's kind of I only have so much human time, and I'm going to spend all of it getting this book to you, both in physical and digital form. All right. More questions. What did I miss? I always want to support my local game store. Will this be available to retailers? Yes, it definitely will, and it will be happening. I missed a bunch of questions. Like I said, late January at the earliest. I missed. What order are you shipping them in? Backer number, some other metric? I believe it's. I mean, the order that I'm shipping in is whatever order Jody prints out the labels, which I think might be alphabetical, but I also know it depends on what shipments we get. Like I said, I just stole this one book from the shipment. I don't know how many of core books versus fancy leather-bound editions are in that shipment, and I won't know until later, and I won't know until what the future shipments are until later. So I'll be updating you guys as I get that information on the Tuesday Kickstarter updates. But it's going to be, we already have the GM kits, the dice sets, all the things I showed off in the last of these live streams. I'll obviously have all that stuff. So it's just a matter of getting everything out the door as fast as possible. So yeah, that's the plan there. Will you be setting up a post-launch forum for people to post their characters and other ideas? I mean, so you can talk about the RPG and the stuff you're doing in the RPG on the Greater Than Games forum. GreaterThanGames.com/forum is an exciting place for the community to hang out and talk to each other. And the RPG is, I think there's a whole already subsection for the RPG on the forum. So do that. Okay, caught up. News when we can expect the PDF. Yeah, I talked about that. Joe Montando says I came to see the book. I've already showed off the book. Look at it. Look, it's beautiful. It's a book. It's got beautiful edges of pages. It's got great art. I love that at the head of each of these chapters, there's a big old art introducing chapter moderating the game. Just a little bit of misinformation there. What is this one? Oh, the bullpen. The bullpen is the name of the section on how GMs make stuff, and I love that. I love that art. Some canonical reporters in the world of Sentinel Comics. All these chapter header pages are canonical, so that's fun. Issue adventures. That's a shot from one of the issues. Ah, very cool. I'm trying to not crack the binding too much by opening this up like super wide. Oh, it lays actually really nicely flat, I will say. Like, that's a good thing. Yeah. Heroes. So that's the thing, is in the archives, we've got the archives, which shows you all the heroes and villain environments. Additionally, all those things also have headers. The hero section, the villain. Oh, right. Besides additionally within that, all of the individual hero and villain teams have a splash page that explains who that team is. Man, poor Adam did so much art for this. Right, villain section. I'll get back to questions in a section. I'm sure I'm sure there's some, but I'm excited about this art. The villains just hanging out, talking to some shadowy figure. Who could it be? I'm looking for a villain team art because there's one in particular that I'm really jazzed about. Oh yeah, look at this team art for the Slaughterhouse 6. This team has never looked so cool before. So cool. And then even in Minions and Lieutenants. We've got these guys. I like that pink mohawk. And environments. Yeah. Excuse me. Goodness. Okay, what did I miss over here? Oh, good. Oh, no. Hold on. Sorry. Great. Outside of the core rulebook, status update for supplemental books. Can't wait for more Sentinel stories. Excellent. Good question. There are various supplemental books. The Guys book, the History of Sentinel Comics, the Dark Watch supplemental book, the Urban Settings book, and then the History of Sentinel Comics isn't exactly an RPG supplemental book. It's like a Sentinel Comics supplemental book. There's no RPG stats in it, but it's in my list of books I'm working on. And then there's the two Monsters Adventures books, the Diamond Book of Monsters and the Zatulish Adventures in one big book. All of those are in process. By in process, I mean actually all of those are very far along in the writing process. All of them are at least 70% written, some of them much more than that, and we are working on writing and developing those kind of in parallel, because we want to have them all as done as possible, because the thing that we can do as writers is be working on lots of things. As writers, developers, and editors, we can be working on lots of things. The layout and the art is going to take a bunch of time, because that just does. And so we are putting one of those books into the layout and art process before the end of this year, which is the Guys book. That one will be happening first, and then we'll be going down the line. And each of these, pretty much as soon as layout and art is ready to look at the book, we'll have the text ready for them. So that is the plan and schedule on all of that. So that's going well. All right. What else? Questions. Greg asks, what is Jody's preferred drink? Malort. Jody is actually one of the people like me who does like Malort, but I think Jody just drinks a lot of water. She has been riding her bicycle to and from the office. Now that the office has moved, it's much closer for her, so that's good. Somebody mentioned the PDF for the GM screen. I believe that's on my list here. GM screen PDF, and also I wanted to have a hero creation PDF that was just like the list of the process chart, the list of powers qualities, and then each of the not chapter, but section header charts for background, power source, archetype, and personality, just all in one thing. Probably the principles as well. So yeah, I want to make sure I get that PDF out as well. It's on my list of PDFs to just post a note of PDFs to make and get out to y'all ASAP. All right. Will you ever get comic books made for the Sentinels universe? Indigo Dragon asked the question, the single most commonly asked question from the Sentinels fan base. We would love to. That would be great. That would be awesome. It would be a dream come true. Paul talks about that a bunch in a publisher's note, maybe the first or second publisher's note that we did in the last couple months. We would like to, and it's just a matter of making it happen. But probably not us, probably not in-house. Like we would be involved in the process. I would kind of like with the Freedom 5 game, I would be overseeing a lot of the creative process and things. We'd actually probably be much more involved in that than we were with the Freedom 5 game. But because it wouldn't just be licensing, it would also be like, anyway, it'd be involved. So that's the part of the problem is too, is you have to find somebody who's interested in working with us in that degree of oversight. Sean, yeah, thank you so much. We are excited about doing this kind of thing, and as I mentioned in the update, with the warehouse being so like, of course, this time of year is incredibly busy for the warehouse, and they've got a ton of things going on, especially with all the operations business we've been doing. And so they're like, okay, I guess we can drop everything to pack this up and ship it out. I'm like, well, I definitely don't want you to drop everything. Let me see. Yeah, no, I'll just do the ship out, and Paul will do the ship out. Like the two of us have done a lot of Sentinel comics type ship outs, especially in the first few years of the company. So we can do this. It's going to be great. So know that every book you receive, either Paul or I, maybe both of us, had our hands on to get it out the door. So that's nice. Maybe, maybe not. Philippe is in the chat. Yes, I'm excited for you to see the bullpen. I don't know if you got to see the cover page. I don't know when you joined, but the cover page for the bullpen is delightful, but also right off the bat, we've got Jen hanging out looking at the book. She's looking at this very book in the picture. It's Inception. She's in the book looking at the book. And there's all sorts of things. We still have these exciting examples of play. Anyway, I'm just very excited. Very excited. What will it take to randomly sign that copy and let one person get a random signed copy? I'm not going to sign this copy. It's mine. It's for me. But that gives you a good idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down this list of credits here, and someday at conventions in the future, once we're all in the same place, I'm going to get the luminaries, Dave Chalker, Philippe Antoine Menard, Clark Valentine, and Cam Banks, and Amanda Valentine. I'm going to get all of those people to sign this book. That would make me so happy, is to have a signed copy of this book. Season 4 of Sentinel Comics RPG Live, man, when we can. It's first we'd have to be in. I guess we didn't have to be in the same place. We could do it as a Zoom call RPG type thing, but I'm not as jazzed about that. I don't know. Someday, it's gonna happen. What am I missing here? Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. I am super far behind on questions. The PDF will be announced on Twitter once it's available. GM screen. Yeah. Once everything is available, we'll announce it on Twitter and on the web store and all that stuff. For all of the news, I would watch the Greater Than Games Twitter account at GT Games LLC on Twitter. But also we'll have it up on the web store as soon as we can. We definitely want to get it out there. Will the core rulebook adventures be available separately so I can display them with other comic issue adventure books in my collection? No, I don't think we're going to be printing those not as part of the core rulebook. Maybe if there's a lot of demand and we do like a special convention run just of those, that could happen in some future in which there are conventions again. So, yeah. Let's see. There's going to be available later to purchase? Yes. Oh, right. Dave says there are additional products coming along with the core rulebook. That's not right. At the same time that we're shipping out the core rulebook, we're shipping out the GM kit, the dice set. If you order these things, we'll get in the GM kit, the dice set. I believe everybody's getting the Off the Rails adventure and the coloring book. Pretty sure everybody that ordered a physical product. Is that it? I think that's it for now. Yeah. Okay. Will I be sending a complimentary copy to sit at Critical Role? If they want one. Like, if they reach out to me, I'll send them one. I'm not going to just send unsolicited stuff to people. It's not the way. But if somebody in the media wants to review this game or do a thing like that, reach out to me. We've got a local place, a bruiser home alert. Takes a look in the back of a dive bar toilet. Yeah, Will Custer, speaking my language. Print game stats for characters and environments featured in said comics. I mean, sure, we've already done that a lot in the archives of this book. Like, that's the point of the archive section, is to give you both an idea of how to make your own heroes and villains, like some stuff. But we already looked at Time Slinger. Let's look at somebody else. Let's look at somebody new. We'll look at Headlong. So, we've got, when you're in the archives, if you're looking at the team Daybreak, you've got Headlong's hero sheet and all the information on the hero sheet for Headlong, and then you turn the page and you get some more art, more delightful art, and also his personal stat type things, a biography, capabilities and motivations, personal life stuff. So yeah. And then you go on to the next character, which is Rockstar. It's Rockstar! So, okay. All right. And environments. Yeah, there's an environment section in the back. Yeah. Powerhound, I talked about the status of the History of Sentinel comics a little bit earlier. It's as well as the other ones. It's the writing is mostly done. Darren and I need to do a quick going over the final few things, and he's been keeping up on listening to the letters page so that as we say things in the letters page, he's like, that should be in the book. Many times he already knows about stuff, but sometimes we say things in the letters page, he's like, okay, hold on, I'll make sure that is mentioned as well. So at this point, we're not saying things that ruin stuff because we're all on the same page with the spreadsheet and the timeline, but sometimes we say things that weren't previously mentioned in the book, and he's like, all right, I'll put a section in on that. So, okay, more questions. Somebody says, let's see. Chromanty Cheer says, so is Jody, you mentioned earlier, creating the exploding old guy from your early Mutants and Masterminds game, the same Jody who works with GTG now? Yes, Jody has been my friend for almost 20 years now, very close to 20 years. And Jody played in an early superhero RPG that I ran and made a character named Pops, who was an old man, and his only power was that he could explode and then slowly over time reform. And so his name was Pops, and he fought crime, but he mostly ran around as an old guy who was just an old guy with no powers, and when things got really bad, he would pop. He was a delightful character. I think it's my favorite Jody character ever. Let's see. Oh man, I am just super out of order here chronologically. It's because the chat jumps around so much. I think, will there be another Kickstarter for more books after the Urban Settings book, or just a normal funding release model? MFS Freak, that's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it because we haven't decided yet. It'll depend on how successful these other books are. I could definitely see just making these books and put them out because we have definitely plans for a bunch more books. I could also see doing okay, here's a Wave 2 Kickstarter that shows, here's all the other books that we could do. Are you interested in them? And it's really going to depend. We've got at least a couple years worth of work to get the rest of these books out. It's exhausting and exciting, and we're doing it. And at that point, we'll say, okay, is there demand for more? Do we want to do more? Do we want to just get them out there? Do we want to do a Kickstarter? What's the answer to that question? And that's a question we will continue to ask ourselves and you over the coming months and years. Correnti Cheer says, show off Freight Train. I can be goated. What time is it? 10:30? Great. Do I have a phone call yet? No. Got a phone call I'm expecting sometime between 10:30 and 11:30, but until then, I'll just keep going through this book stuff with you guys. Freight Train! There he is in all of his glory. He's got his villain sheet, and then he's got his personal information, his biography, capable motivation, upgrades. Villains, instead of having the 4-page spread that heroes do, have a 2-page spread because a villain character sheet's just one page for the villain sheet. And so then we can put all their information on one other page over here. But that's misinformation. Let's look at Freight Train. All right. Okay. What'd I miss? What is the best unexpected thing you have seen now that the book is in hand? I haven't. The only thing, so during this live stream, I was like, oh no, is there a printing error? Because I saw in these pages, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, that there was like this weird blip here. I'm like, what's this weird blip here? I know what it is now. And it's not weird or bad at all. It's great. It's Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle's beam goes right up to the edge of the page. And so I can't see it when the book is closed, but when the pages are squished a little bit like that, I can see that, and I can also see, what is this? Is this a minion? No, it's Misinformation's cape goes right up to the edge of the page. And honestly, I like stuff that breaks the border like that. It doesn't mess up the side indexing or whatever we want to call that. And it looks cool when it goes to the edge if you do it sparingly. So that was unexpected, and I was like, oh no. Indigo Dragon, you say there's a question about UK shipping that I kind of missed 3 times. I didn't see it at all. I'm glad you brought it up. UK shipping is... Oh, man. I am not certain. I think we're doing the UK shipping in-house. We're either doing the UK shipping in-house or we're shipping stuff to a UK shipping partner that we've used for other things, and they're distributing it. It's going out at all the same time. Yeah, that is a question that I know Jody has the answer on that. And now I'm getting a phone call. Leave me a message. I'll get back to you. I will ask that question and have information on it for next Tuesday's update. In fact, hey, Google. Oh, you can't because I'm getting a phone call at the time. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. What did I miss? Any hint of the paradigms? Greg Reynolds, no hint of the paradigms in this book. They must be waiting for something else. Chris Willis asked if I make sure the UK orders make it through customs before the end of the year. Chris, we definitely want to make sure that happens. Otherwise, we're going to be that's going to hurt us big time. So yeah, no, for sure, we are working as hard as we can to get the UK orders through customs before the end of the year, regardless of whether we're doing it or we're doing it through an overseas partner. So, like I said, I'll follow up on that and get information to you by next Tuesday. But I will. But I know that is a major priority for us. So, okay. Yeah, Chris, sorry for missing your question. If it wasn't tagged, it gets lost in the sea. Even the ones that get tagged sometimes get lost in the sea. So I'm glad for people putting those notes in. All right. So with that said, I think we're in good shape. Oh, right. I wanted to do this thing. Hey, Google. There we go. Remind me Thursday afternoon. Ask Jody about UK shipping when you're at the warehouse. Awesome. Colin asked if I've seen the Spectaculars and what do I think of it. I haven't personally seen it, but I know the people who have worked on it. And I know that they have done great stuff, and I'm sure it's awesome. I just haven't dug into it myself. So there you go. Okay. Haha! Hey, Google, tell Phil that he's great. We'll see. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Sorry for making everybody's smart devices set reminders. Um, Man, I don't know how to deal with that either, Phil. Uh, oh man, there we go. I've often wondered like when that was going to happen because of a TV show or a radio or something like that, and it hadn't happened to me yet. But now it's happening on. I'm the one that's doing it. I'm the culprit. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you for watching. I am super excited about this book, and honestly, I'm thrilled that I get to be the one that's shipping this stuff out because I really like doing a ship out. I get to see all your names as I put labels on. It's going to be great. So thank you all for joining us, and I will catch you all in the future. Thank you. Goodbye.